Sam's story is somewhat of an epilogue to the main story of Metro Exodus. The DLC story is not dependent upon either the main game or the previous games in the series. Though it does sometimes refer back to the story of the main game, it is not necessary to know anything about the Metro series to enjoy this game and its story. The game has many compelling and complex characters and a good plot. The only part I am not too fond of is the ending. To avoid spoilers, I will just say that the ending is not quite up to par with the previous ones in the series. The gameplay is very similar to the majority of the main game. On higher difficulties, resource management is a huge facet of the game. You really have to think if you brought enough resources or filters if you're going into an irradiated area, or if you have enough ammo for a firefight. Even in lower difficulties, you are required to know your enemies. Different enemies pose different threats to the character. The overall feel of the game is long sections of searching your environment for resources, followed by short bursts of intense violence. Just like in the main game, the scenery is absolutely gorgeous. Though the world is somewhat smaller than in the main game, it maintains an interesting level of map diversity, from the fog-filled swamps to the coastline. The weapons are magnificently rendered with varying amounts of degradation. Even being a DLC to the third game in the series, it manages to stay fresh and new. Alongside a new world space and all new characters and motives, it also adds new gameplay elements. Through your new adventures, you are able to collect sheets of music that your character can then play on his own harmonica. The main soundtrack is in the same theme as the main game, and still sounds amazing. The acoustics of the firearms are the best I've ever heard, echoing off all solid concrete walls or dissipating into the woodland that surrounds you. The addition of iconic American tunes for the player to perform on his harmonica is a nice touch to remind us how Sam longs for his home. The DLC, as of my recording this, is $18 on Steam. I'm not sure it's worth that much to me. I waited to get it till it was on sale and bought it alongside the other DLC in the main game for around $20. If it goes on sale, or if you can buy it at a discount through a bundle with the main game, then I would absolutely recommend buying it. It took me around 10 hours to complete, and for what it cost me, it was definitely worth it. As far as online play is concerned, the Metro series has never been online, so I don't imagine there's going to be multiplayer support anytime soon. Sam's story is very different from the Tale of Two Colonels DLC, priced at $8 with a playtime of about 2 hours. Sam's story is more like Metro Exodus, while Tale of Two Colonels is more similar to the previous games in the series. Tale of Two Colonels has no open world, fewer player choices, and more of an on-the-rails shooter vibe than an exploratory vibe. It is also a much shorter game, not taking nearly as long to finish, but the story is a little more compelling than a man searching for his way home. I feel like the ending is a bit lacking. It isn't as satisfying as the ending of the other games. I also think that the harmonica playing could have been more widely available in the game. You were not given many opportunities for Sam to be able to play his harmonica. I would give Sam's story alone an 8.5 out of 10, or 2.5 pike out of a halibut. The game has great gameplay, a solid story, and even innovates upon the main game, but it does have a slightly disappointing ending.